Hello and welcome to another edition of Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show. We got some killer bands on the show this evening. I'd like to give a shout out to the Texas Metal Connection, Jason, over in Dallas, Texas, for hosting that. Also the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame, Jerry, over in Arlington, Texas. And also huge shout out to Rage Breed Radio for hosting my show. We got some killer bands on the show tonight, and y'all kick back, enjoy Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show. All right, the first band we have up tonight on the show is a band out of Fort Worth, Texas, Macabre Eternal. The current lineup is Nate Garcia on guitars, Brad Schnaubert on vocals, and Steve Cry on bass guitar, Thomas Reynolds on vocals and theatrics, and Rev Rend on the drums. These guys are on all social media platforms, so you can check them out anywhere. Macabre Eternal. They have a show coming up on July the 12th, TXDM Fest, Haltom Theater, and I'm assuming that's in Fort Worth because that's where these guys are from. So y'all check them out. Macabre Eternal with Guillotine. All right, that was Macabre Eternal with Guillotine. All right, this next band I got to check out last week at Fitzgerald's in San Antonio. They were opening up for Raven's Banquet, but this band is called In Reverie. They were really, really, really good. This vocalist was awesome. The band was good. So the band members are Celeste Munoz on vocals, Mando Vargas on guitar, Sale, I guess that's right, maybe it's Saul De Leon on guitars, and Chris Blanco on bass, Leonel Olivares on the drums. This band is from San Antonio, Texas. They have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a YouTube. And their next show is June 13th at 502 Bar, July 5th at the Paper Tiger. In Reverie, and it's spelled like this. Check it out. INRVRY. In Reverie with Notions. Killer band. That was In Reverie with Notions on Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show. This next band, some friends of mine here in San Antonio. This band is from San Antonio. The band is called Saving Jackie. And Jenny Ramirez on lead vocals, Anthony Jimenez on drums, John Cortez on the bass guitar, Rick Garza on guitars and backing vocals, and Raul Garza on guitar and backing vocals. This band's been together for a while, 5 years or so, and they are on all social media platforms. They recorded this at with Clifton Miles of Stone Creek Studios. All right. And they got a big show coming up in Mexico City, Exodo Fest 2026. Y'all check them out on all the social media platforms. This is Saving Jackie with Breaking Doors.
Shut the door when the nonsense. Stop the fuse of the rush of the places. I'm on the change more, I'm on the climb. I'm what renewing by the power of your name. I'm heading in, I'm protected from the war. Things are coming at me, silence ain't door to door. I see I'm winning, crossing my twinning. I'm a fire that don't get him done in. He's a love and protected by Christ. He's a power, he's everything, nation. I go crazy, sometimes I wanna lose it all. Every day it's another drain to the fall. I'm not silent, just believe because I'm writing. I flip the atmosphere and make everything united. I want peace, I want love, I want Christ and everything going above. We're coming at you, get ready on the floor. We're coming at you, breaking all the freaking doors. We're calling all the shots, giving all we got. See we check you, will never ever stop. I'm breaking doors, I'm about to set it off. I shift the atmosphere and make everything come off. I battle sickness, but I call it win. Either way I'm good, covered. Jesus, I'm headed in heaven, get out of my way. I claim and I pray. Sickness should flee, cause it cannot stay. My ego can stand here and place a war. My soul wants to quit, but my spirit makes it flow. Take control of my thought, control of my mind. Sometimes I see, sometimes I'm blind, but I'm choosing to live and I'm choosing life. I'm choosing peace and I'm choosing Jesus Christ. Complete what you want, complete what you need. Even when I'm sick, Lord, drink it to me. I glorify your name, I glorify your claim. My healing is here in everyone I sing. We coming at you, get ready on the floor. We coming at you, breaking all the freaking doors. We calling all the shots, giving all we got. See we check you, will never ever stop. We coming at you, get ready on the floor. We coming at you, breaking all the freaking doors. We calling all the shots, giving all we got. See we check you, will never ever stop. No one ever, never ever gonna 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 stop. I'm breaking doors, I'm about to set it off. I'm breaking doors, I'm about to set it off. We're breaking doors, we're about to set it off. We're breaking doors, never ever gonna stop. We're coming at you, get ready on the floor. We're coming at you, breaking all the freaking doors. We're calling all the shots, giving all we got. See the junkie will never ever stop. We're coming at you, get ready on the floor. We're coming at you, breaking all the freaking doors. We're calling all the shots, giving all we got. See the junkie will never ever stop. Break these doors. No one ever, never ever gonna stop. 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 Never stop.
That was Saving Jackie with Breaking Doors. Next up on the show, a band that comes from Brownsville and Austin, Texas. These guys are called the Valles Flying Machine. Texas Joe Valles Jr. on guitar and Eloy Valles on drums and vocals and Noe Valles on bass guitar and vocals. And these guys are on all social media platforms. Let me spell that for you. VALLES S, Vias Flying Machine. Their next show is at Hanover's Bar and Grill in Pflugerville, Texas on June the 28th. Y'all check out Vias Flying Machine with Heart's Garden. That was Heart's Garden by the Vias Flying Machine. Pretty cool song. I like it. Next up on the show is a band that I had previously, and but by special request, All right. Pass the Ammunition. These guys are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And let's see, Donnell Blair on bass and vocals, Bunny Powers on guitar, Aaron Bird on guitar, Robbie Robinette on drums. They have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. And their next show is on, let's see, June the 20th. It's an EP release party show at Reno's. And I'm assuming that's in Dallas-Fort Worth, where they're from. So y'all check out The Knife by Pass the Ammunition. That was Pass the Ammunition with The Knife. All right, next on Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show, we have a band. I'm assuming these guys are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They are called Cadaver Factory. Guys, if you are from somewhere else in Texas, let me know. But that's the information that I got. The members of the band are Nazario Santos on the drums, George Astorgo on the bass, and Doug Williams on guitar, and Tim Pardue on vocals. They have Instagram, cadaver_factory. Let's see. They've got a show upcoming Saturday, June the 28th at the 19th hole in Spring, Texas. July the 26th, Haltom Theater on the side stage in Haltom, Texas as well. So check out Cadaver Factory with Death Obsessed. All right, that was Cadaver Factory with Death Obsessed. All right. I'm going to give a shout out to the Texas Metal Connection over on Facebook. Jason Simmons helps out a lot and promotes my show. And shout out to the Texas Metal Connection. And also another shout out to Jerry Warden and the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame Museum in Arlington, Texas as well. I think it's in Arlington. Yes, it's in Arlington. So y'all go check it out. It's on 120A Eastern Abrams Street in Arlington, Texas. The Heavy Metal Hall of Fame Museum. Got to check it out. All right, next up on the show, we have a band from San Antonio, Texas called Overlay. We got E.M. Molina, Emilio Andres, Alessandro Santos, Isaac Leal, and Alex Marquez. The guys didn't tell me what instruments they played, but those are the guys in the band. They have an Instagram, a TikTok, and a Facebook, and a website, overlayband.com, and just look them up, Overlay Band. They have a show coming up. It hasn't been announced yet, but hopefully they'll let me know, and I'll spin some more of their songs and let you know when they're playing. Y'all check out Overlay with Without You.
I bang my head against the wall, hoping to see her call.
All right, that was Overlay with Without You. Great production, great recording, a good song too. All right, those guys were from San Antonio. And next up, another San Antonio band called Even in Death. And I featured them on my first show, and I thought I'd put them on this show too. I don't have any information about them. I just know a friend of mine, Sean Nations, is the singer, and Anthony's a bass player. They didn't send me anything else, but if you want to get a hold of me somehow, and I can find out some more information about Even in Death from San Antonio, the song is called World Upside Down.
Upside your world, upside down. Settle your hatred, foaming at the mouth. There's all food voices making too much noise. Every word that keeps coming out. Fabricate dismay, eyes of those betrayed. You'll shoot, you're a rich hypocrite. You're a rage, turn a page, heretic. Why don't you cling to yourself? It's you and it's nobody else. You will never take me down. Cast the stones, exposing bones, cradle your broken crown. Yourself losing ground. The lines you cross will bring you lost or turn your world upside down. Still, you tried to nail me to the cross. Your convoluted mind will leave you left behind. Reckoning will only bring you loss. Disconcert and line your tracks, all breed will burn. You'll shoot, you're a rich hypocrite. You're a rage, turn a page, heretic.
All right, that was Even in Death with World Undone. All right, next up, we have a band that also hails from San Antonio, Texas. These guys are called Zero the Hero, and yes, that's my band, or the band that I'm in. The band consists of me, Manny Santos, on lead guitars and backing vocals, Chris Palayo on lead guitar and backing vocals, Alex Palayo on drums, Jeff Villarreal on bass guitar, and Al Pena on lead vocals. This song is called Black Widow, and we recorded it many, many moons ago. We're working on some new stuff, and hopefully we have a new EP coming out by the end of the summer or by the end of the year. No shows, so to speak of yet, but if anything changes, I will let you know. Here's Zero the Hero with Black Widow. Next up on Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show, we got a band from San Antonio, Texas again called Wicked Angel. David Gumby Caballero on vocals, Roland Casillas guitars, Joseph Valdez guitars, Ernest Chavarria on drums, and Raymond Castaneda on bass guitar. These guys are on all music social platforms. They got a Facebook and Instagram, everything, all right? So you got to check them out. Wicked Angel, old school metal. They have a big show coming up on June the 21st at Starlighter. It's their EP release party with special guest Santa Oscuridad and Perfect Dark. They also have a show coming up September 5th at Fitzgerald's, opening up for Watchtower, and some shows after that. But I'm sure I'm going to play some more of their music on upcoming shows, so I'll keep you posted on those shows, all right? So y'all check out Wicked Angel with Ferryman on Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show.
Don't trust the ferryman. Don't trust the ferryman. Don't trust the ferryman, they say, to the bitter end. You'll take your soul and crush your bones to the river's edge. You keep your soul to plunder, collect your bones in vain. You'll find your ancestors and bloodline in the catacombs and caves.
All right, that was Wicked Angel with Ferryman. Well, that comes to the end of my show, Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Music. I'd like to thank all the bands that submitted music this week. Macabre Eternal, In Reverie, Saving Jackie, Vias Flying Machine, Pass the Ammunition, Cadaver Factory, Overlay, Even in Death, Zero the Hero, and Wicked Angel. And once again, a shout out to the Texas Metal Connection on Facebook. Also, the Heavy Metal Hall of Fame, also on Facebook. And thank you to Rage Breed Radio and the Rock Vault for hosting my show. We'll see you next time. Manny's Texas Metal and Rock Show.